a good point. So here we are, last game. Bully versus Raider Showmatch. Who will win? Who will get channel points? Looks like UEF is the faction choice from Bully. And what do you think you should do on this map, Tex?
I think that you send your ACU to one side and you spam down the other side. ACU holds a corner, spam up the other corner. Slight eco when at T2 stage.
Yeah, it seems like a pretty sensible strategy.
So if I were in Bully's shoes, I'd probably walk my ACU down to the right-hand side of the map, pick up the 3 mass mech expansions, and I'll probably spam my land army on a diagonal across the Hydro, past the 3 mech expansion, and to the other 3 mech expansion, and secure behind. There is a good amount of reclaim in the center, though. It is all spread out, but it would be worth fighting over. How would you approach this map, Swackle?
First, I think you just cry if you're the SCTA guy. Then you look at the 10 mass rocks everywhere. Then you cry again. But other than that, yeah, I think a second air opening would probably be pretty strong.
For sure. Try to pick off some of those expanding NGs.
Absolutely.
Is there a reason that the TA faction would not be as happy with the 10 mass rocks everywhere?
No, not really. Just the TA faction kind of has trouble teching normally. So reclaim's less useful.
It's harder for them to kind of put into.
Yeah, you end up with these sort of
useful.
weird mass and power situations a lot of the time when you're TA. But some of that's because we don't have good optimized builds for them.
Yeah, that might be true. Bully is really prioritizing the power spam.
He really is, and I think he can get away with it because there's so much reclaim.
Yeah, he might stall hard in the next couple seconds, which I think he is. Once he gets the extra mass extractors out in the corner and starts reclaiming in the back, I think he'll be okay.
This is all fine. He's getting second land, third air, plenty of mexes. He's got 400 mass reclaimed compared to Raider, only 130 mass reclaimed, and he's actually floating almost all of it. He's gonna waste, I think.
Raider.
He actually needs to like start at T2 mechs. He's gonna waste mass. There it is. Wait.
Wind generators are only 200 HP.
There we go. There's the nice mass wastage. Raider just trying to spend it, but he really can't. Really can't spend the mass. And because he only has his ACU building land factories and nothing else is really building anything.
He does have a lot of expanding NGs out on the map. He has more than Bully, though.
He does have more than Bully, so he is gaining more mass, with the exception of reclaim.
I'm a little bit fonder of Raider's position right here.
You know, I'll agree with you. This seems pretty good. Like this.
Well, the lack of air from both players is a little concerning.
I don't think Raider even ever plans to get air for some other reason. Like Bully's just gonna get an
Bully's
NT.
rushing out an Inti, which is, I think, fine considering he has 2 land factories out and he wants to stay safe, but early bomber here would be quite painful for Raider, seeing as how he has no AA, no air factory out on the map. This is a bit of a gamble.
Yeah, I mean, you have to show some respect at some point, and this is the some respect. But it's not really merited, I guess, in this case, because there's just no air at all at any point from Raider. Until now. Now we're seeing the air factory getting started.
I just watched a single medium assault tank fight 2 strikers at the same time and bring one of the strikers down to 50 HP, so those things are tough.
They really are. They're like a super striker. And they're fast, too. So they're actually just really good. Like they're faster than a striker. They're better than a striker.
Yeah, I have to say this is definitely looking, I think, a little stronger for Raider. We'll see how it pans out, though. There's still a lot of map left to play.
I like this push on the left side coming up. I think it has a seriously good chance of dislodging this 3-mex expansion.
Oh, for sure.
If this actually dies and all this dies, Bully's going to have a real hard time getting any control of the left side of the map.
Yeah, that too. And if there's a good engagement by Raider, killing all those strikers, this is going to be a really big blob of tanks that's going to be really hard for Bully to dislodge anytime in the future.
Yeah,
but Bully's wisely pulling back, which is going to keep losses to a minimum.
He still loses the expansion, though, and that's kind of critical.
Oh yeah, that is huge.
So we're seeing map control being taken somewhat around this line, favoring Raider. But Raider is going to have to, capitalize on this at some point. He's slowly securing this expansion. Probably wants to get these NGs out. He's got a nice factory on the right side, so that should help him take control of all this if he has enough tanks over there.
Actually, he has forward factories everywhere. It looks like we're going to see a ton of land out from Raider. He's got a factory on the right. He's got about 6 in his base, and he's got about another 4 up on the top left. This is going to be a big push.
Yeah, we will see if he can manage to make anything out of it.
Good counter rating from Bully on the bottom right. Picking off some exposed NGs. That is very good.
This poor Khan. He's not going to make it. Meanwhile, big engagement top side. There's a bunch of strikers who are trying to do a run by, but I don't think they'll be terribly successful.
I have to say I'm really a fan of Bully just deciding to YOLO his ACU out into the top left of the map, knowing that he's down on tanks over there and he needs to re-establish some control. A lot of idle tanks from Raider, from factory rally points.
I think Raider might be slightly demoralized at this point.
Just a little bit. This push on the bottom right, though, from Bully is looking quite strong. It might actually dislodge this factory. It will dislodge this factory.
Yeah, if this factory goes down, that's a huge blow to Raider's ability to just control anything on this right side of the map. And
I think part of the problem is a overinvestment of units on the left side. Like, he already denied the base, he did raids, and now he has all these units over on the left that I don't think they're achieving too much.
Yeah, like, what is this actually threatening? You're threatening to attack this expansion that neither of you have? I mean, maybe you want to do some sort of sandwich on the comm.
Yeah, if he knows the ACU is here, this is a good move, but I don't know if he scouted it.
Yeah, Bully's actually in kind of a lot of danger. And I don't think he realizes it. Like, the other ACU just shows up.
Yep. Although we do see T2 land out from Bully, the pillars will be started soon. Although most of the map is really disappearing from him. That movement on the top left that we were both criticizing earlier is going to turn into a really strong push from Raider, and he somehow still held on to the bottom right even though he was at a troop disadvantage earlier.
Yeah, Bully's going to try to make something happen. Good positioning on the Chanks from all these players, but I think Raider can actually sort of commit and possibly kill him.
At the very least, he knocks the ACU out of the fight for a couple minutes, and he secures the expansions and the reclaim.
He's going down to about half health now.
Raider gets an air scout over this.
Oh, he doesn't
so he
commit.
knows exactly what's there.
He could have committed and probably killed him.
Yeah, he had the air scout, he had the intel.
He had the intel, and he just didn't want to.
Well, maybe he just wants to play it a little bit safer. He knows he's sitting on a reclaim field. He's sitting on an expansion. He has the bottom right corner of the map. He's got a transport out. Maybe he's just deciding not to risk it.
Yeah, just take your free 3-mex expansion, the reclaim. But meanwhile, on the right, you're not doing too hot. Like, this is going to all die again. Factory's
He's got
still
the
dead.
transport out though, so he's gonna be re-establishing his base and his expansion quickly.
But so is Bully. Bully is very aggressively taking the top left. And
Let's
now
say,
pillars. What's this? Raider has like half built every single mechs. Don't know what's up with that.
The Raider's rally points are a little bit out of position. He's got these units kind of hidden in clumps on the left side of the map that aren't really doing much.
Yeah, I'm not super impressed with the rally points.
Yeah, that is an easy mistake though, just to keep forgetting about.
Now the problem is, like, Raider does not have the tanks anymore to take a favorable engagement in this position, so he has to, like, really respect the enemy, and he doesn't have energy for degunning, which is a huge problem. But he is going to make a nice push on the right side. This PD's not going to finish. And, yeah, this is just a complete crush. So who do you think...
Yeah, the pillars are definitely going to be quite strong there in conjunction with the ACU.
Do you think Raider can make any serious play for this 3-mex expansion where Bully's ACU is now? Or?
No, I mean, he might be able to force him off of it again, but this isn't ACU. These are pillars. This is only T1. He has overcharge. We just saw a really big juicy overcharge there. I think that even if he does force him off, it's just too much mass and too much wreckage left on Bully's side of the map. I would much rather see him take his land army and push it anywhere else besides where the ACU and the T2 is. Like, this is the strongest part of Bully's army, and he's just constantly throwing units into it. But the bottom right side of the map is going exceptionally well for Raider. He's got some raids up on the top. Like, this is looking pretty strong overall positionally for Raider, as long as he doesn't keep feeding units into this blob on the left. I think he'll be in good shape.
He's feeding a lot of units into this blob on the left. And, you know, Bully's not even going to overextend. He's going to respect it. He's going to walk back, not fall into the very obvious trap.
Suck up some obvious reclaim on his way back would be smart. Raider does have T2 mechs out. He's got T2 NGs. He has a T2 land factory or a vehicle factory. So, yeah, this is starting to look like a pretty strong crush.
We'll see if these pillars can hold back this raid on the right side, and I think they will. 4 pillars in a clump is pretty terrifying.
Honestly, though, those assault tanks were trading pretty well into the pillars.
Yeah, I'm not super surprised. Like, they're pretty good. Like, they're a tech 1.25 unit. If we're gonna go that far, be that granular.
Yeah, no, this is looking very strong for Raider. One thing I do want to point out is I brought up the reclaim overlay, and it looks like there's a lot of mass on Raider side and rocks that hasn't been picked up, but it looks like Bully has made sure to have NGs reclaiming more on his side of the map, so that's something I think that's been helped keeping Bully in the game here a little better.
Bully has about double the reclaim that Raider does at about 5.2 to 2.7.
Yeah, there's a universe where Bully pulls back and wins here. Like, I think, you know, his T2 army is starting to get out. He's starting to push back on the map. He's starting to reclaim and rebuild as he pushes outwards. This isn't looking horrible.
I think it's actually kind of looking good for Bully. Now, the T2 mexes are a problem, but the pillars are in great positions and they can make things happen.
Oh yeah, he has very good control with the pillars. He has, you know, his units, they're in solid clumps, they're moving around, they're taking really good trades for the most part.
Although we say that and then the engagement on the right happens.
Yeah, well, that is still a lot of pillars. I still think they'll do okay.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that they are pillars and they are slightly clumped is just really good.
Push on the bottom left too is looking strong.
Yeah,
although Bully's ACU is, you know, I'd love to see it get gun or T2 or something. It's sitting there at 8k HP. A little risky.
See some AA. Actually, you know, the pillars are just getting overrun here. There are multiple Reapers, and Bully is just going to have to retreat off this position now.
Oh yeah, that is. He needs to spam PD behind him with those NGs. He needs emergency PD bad. And Raider actually, even with the intel with the bomber, does not keep pushing. He could push Bully all the way back off that top left side of the map there and reclaim behind him as he goes. There's about 2,000 mass worth of reclaim, just won over by that army. And all the pillars on the right-hand side too that were in that clump, they have actually gone down. The T1 medium assault tanks are really proving their worth.
Yeah, now there's actually an NG here for Raider. He can start building these mixes, doing the reclaim. And Bully needs to have map control at some point.
Yeah, this went really bad for Bully really quickly. It was looking like he was going to be able to stabilize, and then the counter push comes out really strong from Raider. And again, he's backing off the ACU.
I think he needs gun really badly, but he's kind of doesn't have power. Like, he's got all his shields paused for some reason.
I also think that Raider said he bet all his money on Bully, so that might be why he's not killing the ACU right off the bat.
No, I think Raider bet on Raider. And then
Did he bet on Raider?
Yeah, he said he wanted to switch to Bully.
Ah, okay. Well, he's looking really strong right now. He has a lot of production, he has a lot of infrastructure.
It's a million shields here, though. This is actually an army that is almost entirely shields.
Well, if Bully has the power for that, I think it would be fine, but I don't think he has the power for that. He has no T2 P-Gen. He's spamming T1 P-Gens out with 4 NGs, even though he has access to Tech 2. And these parashields are minus 80 energy a pop. This is a bit problematic.
It's certainly not free. Yeah,
It
now
is
he's
not.
moving out with the shield and 2-pillar army against this giant force that's trying to attack the position with the PD, and I don't think it's... The shields are keeping the pillars alive, but like pillars don't have that much DPS when there's only 2 of them. This PD takes,
I mean,
like,
if the ACU were to rush gun or something, the shields go around the ACU, that might be a bit of a chance, but the T1 pillars are too strong to this Bully, and he is entirely correct.
Yeah, these are just, it's kind of brutal. It makes up kind of the fact that there's no good T3, but like, damn, the T1 pillar.
I don't know, like, I don't think any of those pillars traded cost effectively against the T1.
Yeah, he's got like
even
shields.
When you said they were in that huge clump and they weren't even that severely outnumbered, they just did not do well.
Yeah, Mantis would have traded way worse.
Oh, that would have been horrible.
But I think the fact is, when you're the Supreme Commander faction, you have to abuse gun upgrade. Like, that's how this is sort of balanced, is around the assumption that you're going to abuse gun upgrade. And then if you don't abuse gun upgrade...
Yeah, but this is not
happens.
a good map for gun upgrade, though. There's not really a central point to rush through. There's not really a central point of conflict.
You can make it happen. You can, like, walk your ACU down and around and just into the enemy base and force it.
You can, but it's, like I said, everything's playing around the sides, playing around the flanks. Like, it would be really hard to get a good base push off on this. Like, it is possible, but it's not the map that I'd pick for it.
I mean, Bully's ACU has been pretty active. If he had gun, he'd get some better overcharges, more damage on the T1 pillars.
It has been active, but it's only got 14,000 mass killed. Or sorry, yeah, 1,400 mass killed.
Yeah, 14,000 mass killed might be a really good ACU.
It would be a good ACU.
17. Meanwhile, Raider just has all the map control. Yeah, the ACU is trading nicely in this position, but that's about it. This position is going to get overrun.
The PD is just going to scratch the paint of that Reaper.
Thomas is commenting that this is the typical Swackle strategy, and he's entirely correct.
Which part?
Just grab a gun and go for your opponent's base.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Especially when people over-eco because they don't think that you had the balls to do an aggressive play.
Bully doesn't actually have the energy to properly... Well, he didn't. Now he does. He can properly OC
His
things
ACU's looking a little...
It's looking a little scary.
Yeah, I don't think he's very happy where he is.
I think he might actually be fine. A good few OCs. You gotta think of these like Reapers like they're obsidians, right? A good few OCs and the entire army just kind of disappears. Because you gotta remember...
the good news is that Raider did Bully a favor by killing all of his parashields, so now he does have energy to overcharge with.
Oh yeah, that's it. He helped him out. What a nice guy. What a friendly opponent in your show match. And meanwhile,
It's like when you're stalling power and your opponent snipes your radars. Like, you're happy for that.
Yeah, thanks, Woody. It's always such good sports these guys are. Meanwhile, Bully's almost to his 3rd level of vet. He's still holding on to this position. Raider needs to think of something. His ACU has been kind of idle this entire game, and I think that's kind of hurting him a lot.
I mean, at this point, it's just looking like a numbers game. I don't think there's much Bully can do.
Raider does have a lot of T2. Like, checking on the T2 mechs count, we're currently at 9 for Raider, and they're, like, the superior T2 mechs, and Bully has only 3 of the regular ones.
Yeah, and look, we even see a vehicle development plant from T2 getting a fancy-looking upgrade.
There's also a million Avengers overhead. I wonder if they could snipe him.
Well, there are some flax in the unit mix in the middle. And we will see an air fight.
Kind of disappointing micro from Raider, but does it even matter? The high alpha...
I think it will matter. This is looking like a very clean fight from Bully. But if you look at the left side of the map, I think there's at least 40 T2 Reapers. And to combat that, there's 2 bombers, 3 pillars, and an ACU at 3/4 HP.
Yeah, like, just select all, right-click, and try to cheat, but...
I don't even think you need to right-click. You could just do the select all and right-click in the enemy base and, you know, go grab your coffee.
Yeah, I mean, the support is here, but it's kind of far away. So if Raider gets on top of the ACU really quickly, there's not much that can be done. But Raider doesn't want to get on top. Well, now he does. Now he realizes.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's passed up the ACU too many times now to not go in on it now.
The problem is there's 19 Reapers here. And the
That's
ACU...
a lot of Reapers.
It is. Like, it's too many Reapers. And the ACU is down to 5,000, 4,000 into the red. And, yeah, just right-clicked. And that's the game. Raider takes Game 7 in the 7-game series, winning our
What
first...
a series, I might add.
Quite a series. Taking the TA faction to great victory.